Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Tony Talks and Get Up and Grow, where I have conversations with inspirational leaders, influencers, and change makers, people that aren't just doing well in life, but are also doing good in the world. Today, I have none other. He's back again, Mr. AwesomeSauce himself, Mr. Joseph McClendon. He is gracing us again, and we're going to be talking about mindset and, of course, all of that comes in between. I'm going to bring him right on. There he is.
Hey, man.
What's up, brother? Good to see you again. Good to have you.
Well. You as well. How are you hanging?
Listen, always good, man. Always good. Keeping busy, even during this crazy time that everybody says they got so much time. I don't know where they find it, but
I know, right? It's been crazy. I'm busier now than I was before this craziness started.
Well, the only benefit is you get to play multiple guitars because you're home and you get to enjoy the house that you pay for. I think we had a conversation on one of our other calls that, we have these houses that we pay for and and you don't get to spend but, a couple of weeks a year out of them when you string them all together. So at least it's good to be able to enjoy your home and more. And I know you're working on your garden, as am I. So
yeah. I call it enjoying the fruits of our labor. I'm the time of my life. I really am. I can honestly say I've never been home in my life as long as I've been home here. In my life, I've never been not gone somewhere. I mean, the farthest I've gone, I probably put 5 miles a week on my car, and that's just going to the store and back. And I'm loving it.
Yeah. Listen, it's a welcome break. Obviously, there's a lot of people suffering from it, and we're aware of that, and we're sympathetic to that. But there's a lot of people that are also, this is a good time to just reconnect and reset, right? And again, we're sorry for the people that are struggling, but there's also a lot of people that are really taking this time to just reset and do so many work on themselves and do so many projects that are outstanding. My wife is loving the fact that the honey-do list is starting to shrink. I'm loving the fact that the honey-do list is starting to shrink. So just want to welcome everyone. So Danielle is here, Rosa, Betty, Bryn, and so many of the people that are already joining us. We are streaming to Facebook and to YouTube. And I just want to welcome everyone to go ahead and share this live if you feel so compelled. But certainly it's always a good time with Joseph. He always drops a ton of wisdom and knowledge. And it's always a good time because we have fun, right? Life is about also having fun and enjoying the ride.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, tell us a little bit about what else you've got going on. Like I said, I know that you've got a lot of things that you're working on, new projects. I know you've got a book coming out with one and only Les Brown. I actually have a message out to him to see if I can have him come on as well. But Les is
spectacular. Les was and has been dealing with some health challenges lately, but he's doing much better. And we're working on a book and a project together as well. And mostly, to be honest with you, Tony, this is my time to give back. It really is. I have been fortunate enough to have a lot of great mentors in my life, and who really, let's just say, warned us that something like this could happen. Not just an economic downturn, but a social downturn as well, and that these things could happen. And I've been around long enough, and you probably as well, to have seen a few of these things in our lifetime. 9/11, the recession of 2009, and all these things, and upturns as well. The real estate boom in the 80s, the internet boom in the 90s, and all those things. So life is constantly going like that. And the trick to it is to what I call ethically capitalize on these things that happen. Yeah. So when something good happens, ethically meaning do something that's going to help other people, that is also going to help you go further, faster as well. Because Tony, I have a straight up belief in that this too shall pass. It's, as you said, it's true. There are a lot of people that are suffering, and my heart goes out to people. I've had a few people in my life already that have lost their lives as a result of this, and a lot of people suffering, a lot of stuff. So I don't take that lightly. And I also want to caution people to recognize that they're calling the new normal is not the new normal. This is the new temporary, because this is going to pass. This is going to go a year from now. You're going to look back, and no matter what it is, you can't stop time. In a year, you're going to look back and you're going to say one of two questions. You're going to go, what did I do back there in 2020 that allowed me to assist and help other people and help myself so that now I'm thriving and I'm happy that I look back and I did that. Or you're going to say, what do I wish I would have done? And so obviously ask the first question now. And part of that is to recognize that there are so much that you can do right now in terms of, and I got 4 of them. If you guys want to write this stuff down, it's really, really simple, but these are things that you can practice so that you can do that, so that you can ethically capitalize. Now, Tony, we talked about mindset. And so this is all about adjusting that. I'm not that fond of the word mindset without an explanation. And what I mean by that is, the inference of a mindset is that you got a set way of thinking, period. That's just who you are. You think this about yourself. You think this about other people. You think about this about the world around you. And nothing could be further from the truth, because you don't have one mindset. You have several mindsets, and you have several. So I look at it the other way, a set of thoughts about particular things. And so there's nothing that's pervasive over everything that you do unless you make it that way. And so a mindset that people have right now in the traditional set is fear. People's mind is set on being fear, and that's whatever you're looking at. If you're watching the networks and you're watching the media and so on and so forth, it's designed to keep you fearful. So that's your mindset in the moment. But if you step back for a second and you okay, wait a minute. What do I think about myself in this moment? What set of thoughts should I have about myself in this moment that's going to allow me to ethically capitalize on this moment in time, so that later on in life, a year from now, 2 years from now, I'm thriving and I've helped other people thrive as well? What set of thoughts should I have about other people right now that are going to do the same thing? And what set of thoughts should I have about situations and circumstances like money and our livelihoods and whatever is going on? What set of thoughts should I have about that? Now, when you break it down like that, then you can answer those questions. And it's really, really simple. The set of thoughts that you'd have about yourself is that you're freaking amazing. You're off the charts amazing. And what set of thoughts did you have about other people is that they're amazing as well. And people are doing the best that they can with the resources that they have right now. And they would appreciate your input, which is what I'm going to talk about here in just a second. And then the third thing is, what set of thoughts should you have about the situation that we're in right now? And the situation is, as I said, number one, nobody can prove me wrong on this, is that this too shall pass. It's going to, I don't know when. I don't know how quickly this is going to go away, but this is going to pass. What set of thoughts that you have right now? Yes, it's dangerous out there, but what set of thoughts you should have right now is, yes, protect yourself, protect your family. What should you do in all those things? What should a set of thoughts that you have about it is that, like I just said, the media, the entertainment industry, all of it is designed to keep you afraid. And if you're afraid, then guess what? All of that, the chemicals, the cortisol and the adrenalines and all those things that are going to be released in your system is going to do the one thing that you don't want to do, which is lower your immune system. Fear lowers your immune system. So keeping that in mind, our set of thoughts, I'll give you 4 simple things. Actually, there'll be 5 of them, okay? But 4 main ones that you can do right now that are going to globally impact all of those set of thoughts. So you don't have to sit down and go, okay, well, what did Joseph say about this and that kind of thing? And what should I think about? You don't have to think about anything except for to do what I tell you to do. It's wax on, wax off. You know what I mean? Or a more appropriate metaphor is for you, the honeybee metaphor. It's not a metaphor. It's the truth. Bees run around going from flower to flower looking for good stuff, right?
That's it.
But they don't know it, that they have pollen on their feet, and they're touching the other flowers and they're fertilizing the other flowers.
Yeah.
So they're inadvertently doing something that's even bigger than them. And so this that I'm about to tell you is just like the bees or wax on or wax off. It's the same thing. You just do it and you're going to get the results. Here's number 1. Write this down. Meditate. Meditate. Now, people are going to go, oh, I've heard this before, and that's unicorns and you know, sitting with my legs crossed and all this stuff and crystals and all that stuff. No, that's not what I mean. If you indulge in that, that's great. I do. I love that stuff. When I say meditate, I mean just be silent. Just be silent. Even if it's just for 10 minutes, the longer the better. But here's the reason why you want to do it. Remember, everything that I do has a reason and a purpose, and it's about rewiring your brain so that you have a different set of thoughts about yourself, other people, and the world around you. When you sit silent, here's what happens inevitably. you're going to hear your own thoughts. And what does that mean? You're going to hear what you're saying inside of your head, because thinking is only making images and yak, yak, yak. And so you're going to listen to those thoughts. And when you do listen to them, here's the distinction. What are they saying and how do they make you feel? Now you're going to ask the questions, who's talking? Because sometimes it's yourself, sometimes it's your dad, sometimes it's your mom, sometimes it's, that kid that bullied you in high school. But whatever it is, listen to those thoughts and listen to what he or she is saying to you, about you, other people, and the world around you. If they are what I call love lifting, which means lifts your vibration of love inside yourself, it makes you feel good, it makes you feel great, then stick with them, encourage it, do more and more. But if they're not, which most people are not, most people, it's negative stuff. As a matter of fact, Deepak Chopra says about 80% of our thoughts about ourselves, most people, it's negative stuff. And even if it's not negative, it's negative tonality. We got a puppy. His name is Toby. And I can look at Toby and I can go, Toby, I hate you. You're a bad dog. Yeah, you're a bad dog. And his little tail will wiggle and he feels loved. Or I can go, Toby, good dog. Great dog. Good job. And his tail will tuck between his legs and he'll run away because of the tone of my voice. Well, guess who else is the same as Toby? You are. Everybody. So the way we talk to ourselves, and you won't know until you get silent. So if that stuff is denigrative, if it is not love lifting, change it. How do you change it? Something simple. Go to the mirror, look in yourself in the eyes and go, I love you. You're amazing. You're awesome. Say to yourself over and over again, any and everything that makes you feel good. Every day in every way, I'm getting stronger and stronger. You can say something, I have a poem that I say to myself. I've said it for years and years. That I, Joseph McClendon III, am a God-guided expression of health, wealth, happiness, and love. Or I'll say to myself, at last, the past is past. I've broken free and won. And now it's time to love myself and really have some fun. A bold new world is on the rise for all of us to have. And I'm the one. Yes, I'm the one, a beacon that lights the path. And guess who believes that stuff, Tony?
You do. That's beautiful.
And guess what? It makes me feel great because that's what thoughts do. Thoughts release endorphins and dopamines, which are the strongest feel-good substance that are possible that our body lives, or it releases cortisol and adrenaline and things like that, which is just acid. I see Jan Hargrave. Hi, Jan.
Like I love before.
Yeah, she is awesome.
I had her on yesterday. What a hoot! You want to go
She's
back?
an amazing lady. Yeah. And so the choice is yours. So that's number one, meditate, be silent, listen to yourself, change those words. Step number two is to move your body. Move. Right now, most people, have grown all too comfortable with sitting their ass on the couch watching Netflix or, just walking slowly from one end to the other. Get a rebounder, go for walks, do whatever. Take some deep breaths. You've got to move your body. And it's just like with what I said about being silent. There's a reason why you do it. It's because your muscles release the energy. They store and release energy, electricity. And if you don't have that, remember, it's all about there's not a physician around that doesn't say your best defense right now is to have a strong immune system. And so your immune system is run on electricity, no doubt about it. And so when you move your body, your muscles are what we call piezoelectric cells. And what a piezoelectric cell is in anything is something that generates and stores electricity. So you could have electricity in your cells, in your muscles, but if you don't move them, they're not going to release the electricity. So you got to do that. Get up and move around. It'll clear your head. It gets your lymph system going. It does everything for you. Move your body. Like I said, jump up and down on a trampoline, run around, chase the dog, go for a walk, take some deep breaths, laugh, do all of those things that get you going. The third thing is mitigate. Mitigate the fear. To mitigate means to make less. To make less or make less fearful or less severe. And so what you do about that is, me, interrupt your pattern. If you're feeling bad in any moment, if you're fearful about anything, if you watch too damn much television, shut that thing off. Yes, you got to know what's going on, but you don't have to know it 24/7. Turn it on for a minute and listen, the death count is horrible and it's going to keep going up, and that's that kind of thing. So if you got to get it for a few minutes and then leave it behind. But if you're feeling fearful in any moment, watch this. This is very, very, unfortunately, I have pants on so I can do this. If you're feeling fearful in any moment, watch this. If you feel fearful, stand up, okay, and move away. Shake yourself around, because what you're doing is you're interrupting your pattern. And what you do, if you do that enough times, whenever the fear shows up, it'll start to go away automatically. Mitigate your fear. The third thing, or the fourth thing, is music. Music. Now, you know, I'm in my music studio right now. This is, you know, obviously it's a little bit different for me, but here's what I want you to know, is that sound, every sound. Can I do this? Yeah, let me do something here real quick. I'm gonna show you guys something. Let's see if you can hear this. Hang tight for a second.
Hey guys, ask your questions. Since I got the mic now, ask your questions and we'll try to answer them, make your comments. We'll certainly try to get to everyone. And oh man, we're going to get a music show, and share this video.
What you're going to get is, you're going to get why music is so important and why sound is so important, even including the words that you say to yourself. Can you hear this? Okay, can you hear this? Okay, so now watch this. Listen, everybody listen real close. And matter of fact, if you got headsets, put them in right now, because I'm going to give you not a music lesson, but a sound lesson that you're gonna get it, why sound is so important, why music is so important, why the sounds that you say to yourself are so important now. Now, stringed instruments have been around for maybe a couple thousand years. Violins and violas and guitars and things like that. Now, nowadays, you can't see it, but I have a pedal board on the ground here, and one of those pedal boards is a tuner. And so that tuner, all I have to do is hit this note, and it'll tell me if it's a G or whatever. If it's too sharp, meaning too high, and it's not right on the G, it'll go this way. The needle will go this way, and I just dial it back there, okay? But if musical instruments have been around for a couple thousand years, how did they tune their instruments before? And here's the answer: vibrations. Now I'm going to get a little cosmic on you. This is going to be unicorns and crystals, okay? Sound and vibration is everything. Everything in your life vibrates to a certain frequency. Frequency means how often that wave of whatever that vibration is, whether it's electricity or in music, it's air pressure, okay? So vibrations, every cell in your body is harmonically balanced to believe and to feel a certain way. Now, the reason I'm going to show you this is the note. This is called a harmonic. Okay? Harmonic, it's the same as, but it's in harmony with it. It's vibrating the same as is. So if I was going to tune these two strings, let me see if I can got to work backwards. If I was going to tune these two strings, this one and this one, okay, and I want them to be in tune, I would do this harmonic, and they're the same, okay? But listen real close, because when they go out of tune, and I want you, Tony, to tell me what you notice, because I'm going to detune one of those strings, and you tell me what you hear differently. What do you hear?
It's a vibration all the way on top.
Yeah, you hear it going. Do you hear that?
Yeah, at the top of it, yeah.
Everybody, because this is like a life lesson that I want you to get. So now watch. I'm going to bring them in tune, and you'll hear the vibration go away, because now they're vibrating the same. When they're out of tune, when they're out of balance, they're going like this, and they're like this, and they're not in balance. It doesn't sound good, it doesn't feel good, and it vibrates. Now watch. I'm going to tune them up. Watch this.
Wow.
And you hear it go away. Now watch. Let me tune it. Hear it?
Yeah.
There's no vibration. Now, here's the reason I say that to you, is because when there's no vibrations, it's in harmony. When you're speaking thoughts that are, and you're speaking to yourself, and you're speaking thoughts that are denigrative, that are not love lifting, it's woo, 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 and your body is not vibrating at the same time. It's not harmonizing. Your immune system is not harmonizing. Your thoughts are not harmonizing, and you feel bad. That is why music is so important, because music means all of these notes. Now, you've heard this before. This is a major scale. Okay, so all of those notes fit within that scale. So anything that I play there is going to sound good because they're in harmony. But if I play the wrong note, you can even, if you listen close, you can hear them vibrating. And this is why it's so important that what you say to yourself, or the music that you listen to, any music that you're going to listen to, especially Western music, is going to be within either a major scale or it's going to be a minor scale. Okay, so all of those things. And even stuff that goes by really, really fast, if it's in tune, you're going to love it. And this is called slap bass, okay? So even those, as fast as they're going by, your brain is going, that sounds good, because all of them are in the right key. Well, let me put this away. So why do I tell that to you? Is because everything that we do, this is why music is so critically important, especially right now in your life right now. Get some music that makes you feel good, because it balances you. It harmonizes you. Every time you hear, especially your favorite songs, and it, I would kind of stay away from the death metal, things like that. However, but if you get a song that makes you feel good, you're actually fortifying your nervous system and your immune system and your brain. Lastly is this, and this I want everybody to pay attention to in this. I mean, I wanted you to pay attention on that. Does that make sense, by the way, what I just did, what I just showed you?
Absolutely.
Here's what I want everybody to get. The last M, all of these are M's. They are: number 1, meditate; number 2, move your body; number 3, mitigate; number 4 is music. And then the last one is this. The last M is this: mentor. This is critical. Obviously get a mentor, and at the end I'm going to share some stuff with you that if you'll allow me to help you in that part of your life, free of charge, by the way. But you mentor somebody as well. And what that means is, and by the way, blame it on Tony or blame it on me. There's somebody in your life right now that could use this stuff. Either share what you're going on here, or you do it yourself. Go, hey, listen, this is what I learned. I was on a call with Tony the other day, and this is what I learned from him. And just share. That's how you mentor. Because if you have, a mentor is somebody that has something that, a level of understanding or whatever, more than the other person. Okay. And so it's different than a coach. So if you go to somebody that's having a hard time, or get on the phone, remember, social distancing does not mean emotional distancing.
Absolutely.
Get on the phone and love somebody. Hey, listen, you know what I heard today? I heard that the reason music is so important to us, and it'll change our immune system, is because it vibrates all together. I can't quite explain it, but go listen to music. You're mentoring somebody. It does 2 things. It makes you feel good, but it's also helping their life. And so those M's, guess what? They do all of the things to change your mind's, your set of thoughts about yourself. These are our 3 beliefs and our 3 thoughts. Beliefs about yourself, about other people, and the world around you. Because you cannot come away from doing those 5 things. You cannot come away without having a different set of thoughts about those areas. So I know you had some other questions, but I went on and on. I get excited about this.
I love it. Listen, as a matter of fact, I heard you say the other day, I forget where, I don't think it was when we were speaking, but it was somewhere else, that you said, what is the difference? And I love this. So I want you to just highlight, because it's so important. First of all, I think mentorship is so important, and we should all be that mentor that we wish we had when we were younger, because we all have something to share. We all have to teach. So be a mentor to somebody that's not yet where you are, and that is going through some of the stuff that you've been going. But you said something the other day, and I want to poke you out about it. What is the difference between a coach and a mentor? And I think that was
brilliant. Yeah. Well, as I say this is by no means meant to throw coaches under the bus, because they're important, and they're critical to our success as well. And there's a difference. And this is if this works for you, that's great. If you can use it to change the quality of your life, that's even better. I really like being so that we're all on the same page. A coach is somebody that has a level of understanding, insight, and even foresight about a particular situation, circumstance, or a skill or something like that. A golfer can't see his own swing while he's doing it, but a mentor can. Now, they can take a golfer can take a video of themselves and look at it later. But a mentor, if they have, but a coach, if they have some insight about how a swing is supposed to be, they can look at that and they can tell you to change this, 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 and this. Okay. But a coach is not always, and as a matter of fact, most of the time, not better at the thing that they're telling the person to do. Michael Jordan, his basketball coaches were never better basketball players than he was. And that's across the board. You know, sports is an obvious low-hanging fruit example, but it's the same with everything. But a mentor is somebody who has a level of success above the person that they're teaching. For example, a parent that's teaching a child to walk is a mentor because the parent walks successfully. Okay, I try my best not to teach theory. I'm not going to teach somebody something that I haven't done myself.
Yes.
Certain areas that I don't go into. So I can't tell you how to make money unless, I have money myself. I can't tell you how to be happy if I'm not happy. I can't tell you how to have a healthy physical body if I'm not. And so in those areas, in a lot of people's lives, I'm a mentor, but I have mentors as well that can teach me as well. So my encouragement to you, to anybody, is, now, by the way, where I'm a mentor, as arrogant as this is going to sound, more than most people, is psychology, because that's my doctorate. That's what I do. So I'm able to mentor people. I say to people, listen, I don't know anything about playing tennis or building this widget or doing that. You're better at me than me at that. But the thing that I can mentor you in is your mindset so that you can be better at those things. So what I encourage you to do, and right now, and again, this is not meant to throw anybody under the bus, is as you go looking for mentors, be careful. First off, get coaches, because coaches are great and that kind of thing. And there has been, especially now, a lot of people who have this belief that they can start a mastermind, they can do this, and I don't have to really know anything about that subject, okay? And I'm not saying you can't learn anything there, but as long as you have the underpinnings of a mentor that's going to come along and at least teach you how to think and mentor you in that way.
Love it. Love it. Listen, I say all the time, the best coaches, teachers, and mentors don't teach you what to think. They teach you how to think, right? They don't teach you what to see. They teach you where to look. One of the things I love to tell people all the time is stop taking advice from people that you're not willing to switch places with, which goes right in line. Yeah, goes right in line with what you're saying, because so many times people are taking advice from people who they're not willing to switch places with them. To your point, don't take financial advice from somebody who doesn't have any money.
Yeah.
You don't take health advice and fitness advice from somebody who's 100 pounds overweight, just because they now have, what's that, beach body? They became a vendor or whatever. Now they're a coach.
Or because they have mastered, or in some way have a higher level of influence and bullying. Because sometimes people will get you to do stuff because they know how to influence you in a certain way. And this is very dangerous, because what happens is, this is why, without getting too political about it right now, now, I'm not just going to say this administration, but I am going to say it's been this way for years and years with every administration. Those politicians are lying to you. They're not going to do anything that they say they're going to do, but we buy into it. Why? Because it's right in front of us all the time, and they're so convincing about their certainty. So listen to yourself. Don't allow yourself to be bullied. You got an inner voice that says, this is right and this is wrong, and listen to that voice.
Absolutely. Always listen to your instinct. If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. Listen, I have to point this one out, because Jan just says, great job explaining the difference between a coach and a mentor. My boyfriend, Joseph McClendon. Yeah, he's so awesome.
That is beautiful. Jan, I love you. I love you. You're amazing.
Let's see. Dana, Lisa Gang, you met Dana. She says hello. She says, I'm an amazing coach. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I like to think that I'm a great mentor too.
Sure.
And I have speaking gigs because of it. Oh, yes. Well, awesome. Thank you, Data, for that. You're awesome. You're amazing. So many great comments here. So many great questions. I don't know. I don't want to stop you though, because you're on a tear.
Let's take some questions. I'm great with, as we started this thing, we just said we're going to flow. So I can answer questions if you got questions.
Okay. So let's see. Hold on. Let me go find some up here. How do you choose a mentor? Comes from Amanda. So that's a great question as well.
What Tony just said, if you would switch places with him, or let me just look at it. Let me say it this way. I'm a really heart kind of person. I have to feel it and everything, but just check out and see their level of success, but not just their level of success in the thing that they want. Watch this, their level of success in being able to teach other people as well. Because just because you've done something doesn't mean that you can teach it. What makes a really great mentor is a really great teacher, a teacher that can break it down to where you can understand it. Because conversation, and this is actually Jan Hargrave's field. You got body language, you got tonality, you got all this stuff coming out of you, and it might not always match what you're really trying to say. Jan, we do this thing. The reason she calls me her boyfriend is when we do Leadership Academy, she pulls me on stage, and she's so brilliant in the way that she demonstrates how, the way a person's holding their body or the things that they're saying and all those things is really saying something else other than what's coming out of their mouth. And so when you're looking for a mentor, make sure that this person, you can check their credentials. Tell me, who you've talked to before, or we got this great new thing that the kids are using all over the world called the internet. You can Google somebody and see what they're doing. I know it's going to pass. See what people are saying about them. So check their credentials and check their ability to teach you.
I'm going to add something to that, because all of that is absolutely on point. But now the other thing that I would challenge you to check is, are they happy? Yeah.
Well, that again is part of the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I'm a psychologist, and for a long time I cut my teeth. I had a practice in Los Angeles. I cut my teeth on working with unhappy people, and my specialty is fears and phobias and things like that. But after a couple of years of listening to people bitch and moan, it wears on you. And I was unhappy. It was a balancing act, because I was happy because I was helping people. But at the end of the day, it was just like, and that's when I switched things up. I still get to help people, but I approach it a whole different way. And I've become a different type of teacher to be able to do that. So yeah, that happiness is really important as well.
Absolutely. So, comment here from Rosa, just saying hello from your favorite place in the world, New York City. Followed by Reza. This is a great question, just on the lines of what you just said. With the constant bombardment of negative news and self-doubt, how do you tune those out? Aside from changing the channel, because that's the first one.
Yeah, that is the first one. Stop the bleeding.
Yeah. Stop
the bleeding. If you have, and sometimes even if that's a family member, because now we're in the house and you got somebody that's negative, do your best to stay away from that person. And when they do, and this is something that I'm calling fear distancing, instead of social distancing, that's fear distance. Distance yourself from all that crap. Turn the television off, turn on something that's going to, a documentary or something that's going to make you laugh or whatever. And so number one, mitigate that and truncate that so that you're not having so much of that in. And if it's yourself, interrupt your pattern. Whenever you feel bad, stand up and shake your ass. Put a smile on your face, sit back down, feel bad. Matter of fact, everybody write this down, because here's a great formula to be able to do that. Because you don't want to wait till you feel bad to do it. You want to kill the monster while it's a baby. You want to make that baby show up and then kill it. And so what you do, I want you to write this down. Feel bad, feel good. Feel bad, interrupt your pattern, feel good, celebrate. And those are the steps to replace any negative emotion that you got. And when I say replace, that's the way I look at fear. Everybody says FEAR stands for forget everything and run, or false evidence appearing real. I say it's face the fear and replace. F-E-A-R. I'm sorry, face the emotion. Excuse me. Face the emotion and replace. And that means whenever fear shows up, you've heard me say this before, Tony. You come into my office, you got a fear of dogs, there's going to be a dog in my office because we're going to face that fear right now so that I can interrupt the pattern on the other thing that I just said. Feel bad, mean fearful or whatever, and then interrupt the pattern. How do you do that? Just stand up and shake your ass because it creates a scotoma. It creates a blank spot, and that blank spot is a vacuum, and you get to fill it up. And then you feel good. How do you feel good? Watch closely. It's really complicated. Everybody watch. Smile. It's more than just silliness. Your brain releases endorphins and dopamines, which rewards your nervous system for having interrupted your pattern. And your nervous system goes, well, I'll just do it again. When the fear comes up again, I'll just do it again. And then you got to celebrate, which teaches your nervous system to do it again. So feel bad, interrupt the pattern, feel good, celebrate. And if I was going to even abbreviate it and make it even shorter, I'd say this. Feel bad, write this down, shake, breathe, and smile. That's it. So whenever you feel bad, shake your ass, shake for a second, because it does the same thing. It creates a blank spot, creates a vacuum. Take a deep breath because you give your body what it needs, oxygen. When we're fearful, we're crumped up like this and we're not breathing. And we probably haven't been breathing for a while. So when you breathe, we widen that space. And then when you smile, you release the endorphins inside of you. Do that over and over again. And I promise you, you'll start to feel better and better. The more intense and the more frequently you do that, the better you'll feel.
Oh, awesome. I love it. And by the way, that's called Joseph's stop technique. I love it.
Yeah, that's an abbreviated version. Thank you, Tony. That's an abbreviated version of the stop technique. Stop technique is a lot more in depth, and you can go pinpoint something and get rid of it. But yes.
Well, but this is like the abbreviated. This is like the yield, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Well, it's so important to really do this. And the cool thing about, by the way, when you do this and you wire it in and you do this and you practice and you practice and you practice, the next time you feel bad, you know what you do? You shake that ass. You take that breath and you celebrate because you're conditioning your body to do that. So that's why it's so important, doing these exercises. So I want to thank you. By the way, I use that one all the time, and I share it with my peeps all the time, with my clients and my coaching clients and mentees and everything.
And by the way, those of you that are listening to this right now, you become the mentor now. I just taught it to you. Dana just wrote it down. Feel bad, interrupt the pattern, feel good, celebrate. She wrote it down there. You take a picture of it right now so you have it, or it just went away. Okay. Yeah. So you have it. You go teach it to somebody else. Go teach it to somebody else. You be the mentor.
Yeah, I'm putting
blame it on Tony.
Yeah, there you go. I'm putting up the abbreviations. Everybody put a different iteration of it, which is great. Dana says, stop, stand up, shake your ass, pat yourself on the back and celebrate. So everybody's got to do.
That's the stop. Yes. Dana. Yes. Yeah.
That's it. Make it your own. Make it your own. Another question up here that's probably a little easier. Now, if I can find it, I'm not going to find this. I'm just going to say, I'm not sure who asked it, but how many guitars does Mr. AwesomeSauce have?
Well, first off, I have 6 guitars, but I have 13 basses. I play a few instruments, and there's a couple keyboards around here and everything. My favorite instrument is bass guitar. So there's 8 in here, and then there's 2 in the other room, and then there's 1 in the other room. So they're scattered out all over the place.
Awesome. So let's see. So many questions, but the chat is hot, which is great. How do you choose them in? Oh, we already got that one. Okay, same. That was a similar question. Hold on a second. I'm scrolling through these. Yeah, a lot of different places here. Why and when do you start your deep dive into learning about neurosciences? Why and when did I? Yeah, why and when did you start the deep dive into learning about neuroscience?
That's a great question. Here's the why, and I don't care what anybody that is in the neurosciences or psychology says. We all do it for the same reason, same 2 reasons. Here's the first reason. We want to fix ourselves. We want to fix ourselves. I first started looking into it because I recognized, now it wasn't that I had some, I did have some deep psychological challenges, but it was more like I wanted to do more and have more and be more. As some of you know, I was homeless at one point, and I wanted to break the thoughts that I was having about myself. I wanted to break why I procrastinated, why I hesitated, why I did all those things. That's all psychology. So that's why I first started looking into it. But I did it under the guise of, I'm doing it because I want to help other people, which is the second reason. Somebody helped me and I wanted to help other people. And so the reason I share that with people is, yes, you do, I wanted to help other people, but I also realized physician heal thyself first. And I always also recognize I don't want to teach theory. So I had to work on myself. When I started the instant the deep dive started the instant I read Think and Grow Rich.
Great
when
book.
I read Think and Grow Rich, it was the first time I started to recognize that, wait a minute, we can change what goes on. And that's when my curiosity started. I started looking into it, and I was my first client, if you will, because I started to change how I thought about, and now I'm intellectualizing it. Back then I had no idea. I was changing my thoughts about myself, about other people, about the world around me. And so that was, let's see, 35 years ago.
Awesome. Well, listen, you've done a great job of it. So Bryn Whitman, our friend Bryn, asks, can GM to repeat those positive self-talk poems he said to himself again? Those were easy to do and really good. They were really good, by the way. So if you can repeat those poems, those self-talk poems that you
Okay, one of them was really simple, and I say this all the time. And by the way, everybody understand this. Your brain, and this is psychology. Here's another one of your psychology lessons. Your brain and your body cannot resist repetition. That's how you learn anything. Anything that is repeated over and over again is going to be repeated by your brain, period. And if it is repeated with enthusiasm or music, it's going to dig deeper. It is the reason why you'll hear a song and you can't stop thinking about it over and over again, is because it's done with music for all the reasons that I shared with before. And so whatever you repeat, the purpose I say these poems and I say this is to repeat it. So one of the things that I say is, every day in every way, my health is getting better. Every day in every way, my life is getting better. Every day in every way, my energy is getting better. That's a real simple one. Or I'll say, what's the one that I said before? I got a bunch of them. I said before was, I, Joseph McClendon III, am a God-guided expression of health, wealth, happiness, and joy for myself and virtually everybody that I have the privilege of touching their lives. That's another one. Or here's the one that I said before. At last, the past is past. I've broken free and won. And now it's time to love myself and really have some fun. A bold new world is on the rise for all of us to have. And I'm the one, yes, I'm the one, a beacon that lights the path. And I say that, my line of work or my line of my occupation is to assist people in feeling better. So I got to feel better about myself. And so the more I say that, guess what? I do believe that I'm a God-guided expression of health, wealth, happiness, and joy. I do believe that the past is the past. And I've broken free of all of the stuff, not all of it, but 99% of the stuff that I've had before. And I get to be, by design, I get to be, at the risk of sounding arrogant, somewhat of a beacon for other people to look at and go, well, Joseph can do it. That guy's a moron. If he can do it, then I can do it.
Well, that's why I'm here. No, are you kidding me? You're brilliant, dude. I love you.
Thank you.
So let's see a couple of other questions. And this one I like, and it comes from Dana. How about the Magnetic Success Summit? Are you going to do another one of those? I think was her question.
What's interesting is I'm actually going to do one of two things, and this is the first time I've announced it. My friend Michelle Sorrow, which by the way, I'll share this with you. If you guys are interested in doing a podcast, listen, I got the thing for you, because my podcast just started a few days ago, and I've been trying to do it for 2.5 years, and this is an unbelievable method. Remind me of that later. What was the question? I interrupted my own pattern.
The Magnetic Success Summit.
Magnetic Success. One of the things that I'm going to do one of two things, and I'm announcing this right now. I'm going to digitize it and do it online because of where we are right now. So I'm just pivoting to do that because I get asked that question a lot. Either that or I'm going to start a mastermind where I'll teach it for 6 months, meaning, a couple times a week we'll do a call and I'll teach it in depth from there. And in that way, you get to learn it and do it over the next 6 months. So matter of fact, let me know which one you prefer. The digital will be video based. You'll watch it on video. The mastermind will be live. And
comment below, guys. Which one do you want? Yeah. I'll tally it up and send it.
I haven't marketed it yet. It's just something that I decided I was going to do tomorrow. So depending on how long this stuff lasts, the answer is yes. That is my favorite seminar to do, as you know, Tony.
Loved it.
Yeah, I will. But as long as we're inside here, I want to pivot and help some people out that way.
Excellent. Let's see. Someone else in here is asking, how do you get rid of PTSD memories?
A memory. Watch this really closely. PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, here's the first thing that you do. Lose the freaking label. Don't say that anymore. Because remember, what I just showed you with the instrument, that does not resonate with who you are because your soul you're in your soul. Believe it or not, everybody believes that they are worthy of love. Whether you're saying it to yourself over or not, but the very fact that you're alive, every cell in your body wants to keep on living and it wants to resonate with what is right. So stop saying that because that's like detuning the string. Okay, number one, get rid of that. Number two is this. Memory is nothing more than the connection between your conscious brain and your unconscious brain. What does that mean? Everything that you've ever touched, tasted, smelled, experienced is in your unconscious mind somewhere. It's back there. It's just like in your computer or your phone. The difference between your computer is with the right software, you can go in and find out exactly what that computer was doing on January 16th, 2008. In your brain, you can't do that, not readily, but it's there. And so to remember something is the opposite of dismembering something. What that means is this. When you lose your car keys, you know where you put them. It's in your unconscious mind somewhere. But your conscious mind it's not married up to it. There aren't the connections that are married up to it. When you find your car keys, you remember your conscious mind, your unconscious mind. It makes you feel good, doesn't it? Okay. And you go, oh yeah, that's where it was. I remember, because now your conscious mind is aware of what was in your unconscious mind. Okay. Now, the same holds true for a bad memory. The challenge is that we have remembered so many times that the connection, the neural association connection, the physical connection is strong with what happened in the past and what's conscious. And you may not be remembering and saying to yourself, okay, this exact thing happened that day in every moment. But guess what? It's riding underneath, just like it past. I've broken free and won, and now it's time to love myself and really have some fun. And so the way to do it is to go back on what I said before. Feel bad, interrupt the pattern, feel good, celebrate. Do that over and over again with that memory. Now, you know this from Magnetic Success, Tony. We take people, and I tell you, bring me your worst nightmare. Bring me your worst nightmare, because at one point, you're not going to be able to feel it again. It's not going to be something that I do to you. It's going to be something that I'm going to show you how to do. You're going to do it. And at some point, you're going to go, oh, I can't feel that anymore. And then you keep on doing it. And guess what? It goes away, or at least it subsides. And it happens anyway. Anybody that does get over PTSD, it's at some point, something else occupies their thought more than that thing.
Yeah, I love it. And one of the things that I say all the time is you don't want to forget the memory. You want to take away the emotional charge behind it, right? You don't want to forget the memory because you're destined to repeat it again, perhaps. Hopefully you don't. But if you don't learn the lesson, you're destined to repeat it, right? So you don't want to forget the memory. You just want to take away the emotional charge. So I love that. Fill it, put something else in its place. And then Magnetic Success Summit, guys, if you have an opportunity to do it, do it, do it, do it. People are saying this is kind of a mixed bag. Mastermind, digital, mastermind. Ayahuasca. Okay. I love you, Dana. Live. I'm getting live. Certainly, a live event is always.
Yeah, I'll do live, but in the time being, rather than that, I'm leaning more towards the mastermind. And again, I'm just now announcing this. This is an exclusive, and I'll get back with you on it. Yeah. And by the way, what you just said there, I love about just removing the charge. We call that, it's never too late to have a happy childhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't change what happened, but you can change how you feel.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Listen, I love that. By the way, people are asking, and when I was looking down, I was actually looking for the name of your podcast because I've already found it. So they're asking, what is the name of your podcast? So what is it? Let me put that in here.
Cure for the Common Life.
That's it. I knew it was a cool name.
Oh yeah, and so let me expand on that a little bit. And there's two things I'll send you here to get this. First off, if you'll allow me to give everybody a gift,
please.
Free of charge, no strings attached, no trial basis, no leaving your credit card. I just want you to have this. And the reason I want you to have this is because, the saying that I always say is those of us that dare to dream while the rest of the world is having a nightmare, you're not only going to get the things that you want, but the best part about it is that you're going to become a mentor and you're going to lead other people as well. And then we can help change the world. And so I want you to write this down. I am, all one word, I am Joseph McClendon, JosephMcClendon. And there are two things that I want you to have. You can go there and get this. That's my Instagram account. If you go there and you click on the link below my podcast, there are several things that are on there, but here's the two things I want you to pay attention to. One of them is called the Self-Certainty Masterclass. Okay. Feel free to peruse any of the other ones that are on there, but this is the free one that's on there. And it is something that I think everybody needs right now, which is more self-certainty, not just certainty, but self-certainty. It's a audio program with a workbook PDF, download free that I mentioned. I'm not going to, it's not about, try this out. I have some other stuff on there that you can pay for, but you don't have to. And so get it and then do the process. And the only thing that I ask is that you share with me your results and you share it with other people as well, because this will give you more confidence and certainty in yourself, but then also it'll give you something to talk about to other people. Okay. So go there and get that. The other thing is this. Now is the time to do something. Remember what I said earlier? At the end of this, you're going to wish you would have done something. Matter of fact, I made a post this morning, and the post was, in a year from now, you're going to look back, you're going to miss being able to do what you can do now during these crazy times. And so one of the things is, if you have a voice at all, podcasting is huge. And at the very least, you should be doing like Tony's doing right now, what I'm doing right now. You don't have to be, that well versed at it or anything, but podcasting is at best, a multifaceted venture to do. There are a lot of moving pieces, how to get your artwork done, your music done, to get this, where to record, what equipment and all that stuff and everything. And I'm the kind of person I didn't want to just hire somebody and have them do it for me. I wanted hands-on, and because I wanted it to be personal. And hiring somebody is extremely, extremely expensive. Mm. And so my friend, her name is Michelle Sorrow. You know her. Unbelievable lady. And I know her from she and our other friend, Tanika Ray. They host Extra TV, and they've had me on their show. And she asked me once, well, you should be doing a podcast. And I go, yeah. So she introduced me to this lady. Her name is Gina. And Gina and Michelle put together, start to finish, an unbelievable course that at the end of the course, and it's just a few weeks long, you have a published podcast, edited with all of your music, all of your artwork that's on all of the podcast channels. Wow. And everything ready to go. It's super cheap, and it's super, I'm going to say super simple. You got to do some things, but it's like what kind of microphone to get, and everything is on a shoestring. So if you don't have a lot of money, now's the time to do it. So if you go on and listen, at the very least, go check it out. Watch, you click on the link. It says Podcast Accelerators, and it really is. Literally, what took me 2.5 years to do took me a month to do, and my podcast is up and running on all the channels, everything, and it's amazing. So if you go there to the same site that I just gave you on my Instagram, and please follow me on there as well, because I'm always pumping fun stuff out as well, and share it with your friends and all things.
Yeah, I will absolutely say that. Joseph puts out great content every day. I'm laughing, I'm thinking it's so good. It's so good. And I will say one of the things that, that goes right along with the one that you said this morning, of in a year, you're going to think about the things. We've all heard this phrase, and right now it's probably more poignant than ever. Do something today that your future self will thank you for.
Oh, beautiful. Yes, I love that.
Do something today that your future self will thank you for. And by the way, the fact that you're here watching this live, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it on replay, that tells us who you are, right? You are the person that's doing something that the future self will thank you for. So I honor you for that. And certainly, Joseph, I can't say enough for you continuing to come on and hanging out with me over here with my people. So I so appreciate it. It's always so much fun having you on here, man. So I love it. Now, the other thing I know that you're working on as well, and I'd love you to share that as well, if you will, is that the mentoring course that you're doing as well, or that mentor.
Yeah, that's on there as well. Listen, I'm going to shamelessly promote myself here for a moment.
Please, this is the time. That's how we roll.
Remember what I said earlier about being a mentor. I have the privilege, and have for several years, of working with, let's just say some pretty well-known people. I'm not going to give you their names, but Academy Award-winning movie stars and major sports figures and Grammy winners and millionaires, billionaires, you name it. And I mentor them. And I have a very specific way that I do it. And I can't take on more than a couple of clients a year. And actually, I can only take on one, and I can't because I'm full. I can only, because it's very time consuming, and I put my heart and my soul into it. And that type of person is usually a pretty needy person, and rightfully so, because I charge them a boatload of money. For me to mentor you is $350,000 a year, and I'm going to meet with you once a month. And but I got one person that is, it's 7 years now that I've worked with, and just keeps on coming back, and so I can't take on any more. And so I get asked that a lot. Well, I mentor you, and I can't do it. And for most people, it is cost prohibitive. And so what I did was I created something called the Further Faster. Actually, there's two things. One of them is called the Further Faster Elite Circle, and it is, I take you through a lot of what I teach them as well, but it's live. It's once a month, and actually I'm doing it twice a month now because of what's going on, because I got the time to do it. But it's an hour-long call, an hour-and-a-half-long call, where I work with you for an hour. I teach you something, and I always do tell, show, try, do. I'm going to give you something to do on these three areas of your life: your health, your wealth, and your happiness, and all of the subsets below that: love, relationships, and all those things underneath that. But it's $47 a month. Give me a freaking break. And that is going to go up. I have it where it is right now. And we have a Facebook Live group as well. So it's an hour of me tell, show, try, do, and then it's a half hour of Q&A. It's live. Everything is archived. If you missed it, it's going to you have the ability to go back and get it as well. And then the other thing is, and then I have another process that I do that is called Beyond Mentoring. And it's, I made everything so ridiculously simple. That is something that, and I have this belief. Now you watch this. Even though I'm giving this away, I've given you how to go get it for free. Some of you won't do it. Some of you in your brain, whatever's going on in your brain is going, oh, he wants something, or so on and so forth. No, just go do it. Go check it out. And it's the same with the podcast. Go there and look it up. Do something. Go on my link. I've set up with Michelle. I think she'll give you like a discounted rate or whatever. Go there and go do something. Also on there, if you go to my Instagram that I gave you, I am Joseph McClendon, and you look through, you'll see Beyond Mentoring. You'll see the other one. But here's what I was going to say. I'm a firm believer in this. If people don't pay, they won't pay attention. Period.
That's it.
So if you give something away to people, most of the time they're not going to do it. I hope you won't. But so I have one program that I charge $1 for. It's $1 to start, and if you like it, you love it, then it's $9 a freaking month. Most people are going to spend that much money on coffee or whatever, a day, whatever. And it's a mentoring program as well, but it's videos, and you get a video like every 4 or 5 days, and it's always something for you to do. And so those are the 2 programs that I have right now. Dirt cheap, really simple, but they'll produce results as well. And everything is on that site as well. But you don't have to do any of it. Go get the self-certainty and pass it on.
Fantastic. Guys, I hope that you've been taking notes. I know that I probably got 4 or 5 pages of notes while I was doing it on my iPad, but I got 4 or 5 pages of notes. I hope all of you took notes as well. And, you know, to be respectful of you, the audience, and of course of Joseph, we are at the hour mark, and these things go by like 20 minutes. So they're always great. And I appreciate you coming on, Joseph. Again, I thank you for your time, as time is our most valuable asset. And there's so many great people here watching. By the way, the last question that we'll just field is, how's that garden, Joseph?
It's doing great. As a matter of fact, you saw me. I love your responses back. My garden didn't do as well last year, and I couldn't understand why. And so I went to till the garden this year. I have a greenhouse out back, and I found out that the tree roots have grown up and taken over my garden. The tree roots, and they're like this far below there, but the tree roots they weren't there 2 years ago, or like this big around. And so I put my son to work. We got out there with an axe and a hoe, and we chopped it all down. So the soil is all ready now. I germinated my seeds. They're ready to go in the ground here just in a couple days. Yeah, awesome. And you know, on the side note on that, sometimes those roots are the weeds that you didn't pull. So make sure that you're pulling those weeds, and make sure that you're taking care of your garden. Mind the garden of your mind, my friends. And I wish we had more time. We'd kind of dive into that one, because that's something I love to talk about, and I know that you're brilliant at. But with that said, everyone, thank you so much for being here, for watching, for committing to your own growth and your own future, and to yourself. And thank you for spending a little bit of your day with us. And if you are so compelled, please do share this video. We're streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can always share the YouTube link if somebody doesn't have Facebook. So again, thank you, my friends. I appreciate you. Joseph, any last words? Life is exactly what you dare to make it, and fortune favors the bold. So the trick to life is to boldly step up and dare make your life magnificent. Tony, thank you so much. And everybody else, I will see you at the top. I'm out. Love you, brother. Hold on, Joseph. Just hang out there for a sec. So remember, my friends, life is not about how many times you fall, but how many times you get up. Fall down 7, get up 8, and every single time you fall, you have the opportunity to get up and grow. Appreciate you all, my friends, and we will talk again soon. Ciao for now.